OPEC and non-OPEC producers on Sunday failed to reach a deal to freeze oil output. We will talk about the consequences with Mr. Spencer Welch, director of IHS Energy in London. Why couldn't the oil producers reach any agreement? Could they ever have found a compromise with Iran not taking part?
Certainly, it was very difficult without Iran. Until the last minute, it wasn't clear whether Iran was going to go or whether they weren't going to go. But quite a way in advance of the meeting, Saudi Arabia had said that they weren't going to freeze production if Iran weren't involved. And Iran had said that they weren't going to freeze production because they're still trying to recover their market share now that the nuclear sanctions have been removed.
We have seen already the first market reaction and how it would affect the global oil market in the medium term.
Prices dropped this morning by around $2 per barrel as a reaction to the OPEC meeting, to the Doha meeting yesterday. Actually, the prices would have probably dropped by more than that, but there is a production problem in Kuwait, so that's providing some positive support. But even with that, prices dropped by $2 per barrel. So prices are going to be lower for another couple of months and into the second half of this year until the market more naturally comes back into supply and demand balance.
What we could expect from the next OPEC meeting in June? Could they freeze or even cut production?
I think what the meeting yesterday has shown us is that until Iran is back up at the levels of production that it was before the nuclear sanctions, so in around about 2010, where they were producing 4 million barrels per day. So until Iran has recovered its production level and is at a flat and stable production level, no deal is going to be done. So it's going to be quite some time. I think it's unlikely that anything would happen in the OPEC meeting in June, because in June Iran will still be trying to recover its market share, and so Saudi Arabia still will not be willing to come to a deal. So it's going to take some time now before Iran is back up at its normal production rates, before any sort of deal could be done. And by then, the market is likely to have come back into supply and demand balance by itself.
When market could rebalance itself?
We think in the second half of 2016, so later on this year. At the moment, production, as you said, the market is oversupplied, but production is declining, particularly from the United States. So they peaked last year. It's down by more than 500,000 barrels per day of production, and that's being driven down by the low oil price. And demand is increasing. So supply is dropping, demand is increasing, and the market is heading back towards being in a balanced position. And we expect that to rebalance in the second half of this year.